What's up legends, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another gaming monitor in for review. This time it's the ROG STRIX XG27UCS from ASUS. It boasts some pretty decent specs for a relatively fair price, making this a great mid-tier option for your gaming setup. So whether you're a PC gamer or a console gamer, this one might be for you. Let's get into it. First up, the packaging here did get a little bit bashed in transit. Luckily the lead wasn't lost, so I assume that this was done by DPD at the depot. Opening the box from the correct place, we get these inside. A little tech carry pouch that is housing an ASUS branded DisplayPort cable and a US kettle lead. We get, of course, the US kettle lead, some paperwork as usual, and the stand that comes in two pieces. We'll go ahead and set up the stand so we can take a look at the adjustability. It simply goes together with a single threaded screw as you'd come to expect, and the monitor clips in nice and easy too, with this little latch mechanism here. There is a decent range of adjustability within the stand, and you can tilt, swivel, pivot a full 90 degrees and adjust the height, all with a pretty compact footprint. It is VESA compatible, so we will go ahead and get it on an arm, but if you had to use the stand, it doesn't take up too much space at all. There's also a nice little slot down here for your phone to use as a phone stand. Pretty nice design overall, with some really nice little details, such as the branding on the back, the red ring on the stand, and this little section here. There's even a little thread up here for mounting something like a camera. Let's take a look at the back of the monitor, which again has some really nice details. I must admit, I do love the ROG logo and I think it looks great here. Here are the buttons for controls, which we'll take a little bit look at later, and for ports we get the slot for the kettle lead, HDMI 2.1, DisplayPort 1.4, USB-C with power delivery, and a headphone jack. There are no speakers included with this monitor, so you will need an additional speaker, so it would have been nice to see a USB-A slot here so you could have plugged in your speaker straight into the monitor. Now onto the display itself. First up, we'll check out how the PlayStation 5 looks and then jump onto the PC in a little bit. Going into the settings on the PlayStation 5, we can see exactly what this monitor will allow us to use. So that's 4K resolution, max refresh rate obviously, and it's also HDR capable, which is great. The colours, as you can see here, are very vibrant, really good contrast and brightness levels, which I do hope comes across in the video. The bezels are pretty small as well, which means you do get more display, which I love to see. There's a 178-degree viewing angle, which does mean that the picture quality remains the same from a wide field of view. So these would be great for a triple monitor setup. Let's go ahead and check out the settings on PC, because here you will see that we can unlock that max 160Hz refresh rate. Now of course the 160Hz isn't as good as some other options out there like 120Hz, but 160Hz is still a really good spot, especially if perhaps you aren't achieving over 200 frames. So the 160Hz paired with the 1 millisecond response time actually make this a great monitor for competitive gaming. I am more of a fan of bigger screens, but the 27-inch in size would certainly appeal to many people. FreeSync and G-Sync compatible, which is always a nice to have nowadays. The display surface is a non-glare, and whilst testing I certainly haven't noticed any glaring issues. We saw this earlier, but the USB-C does provide power delivery, meaning you can use a single cable setup for work purposes. The MacBook here is connected and being charged at the same time, which is ideal if you are going to use this monitor for both work and some gaming. Quick look at some of the text clarity here. As you can see, there is a decent level of sharpness and the text is pretty clear, but I do think that's to be expected for a 4K monitor. We'll take a quick look into the menu here. Firstly, we get some different game related settings, variable refresh rate, Game Plus, which includes options for FPS, crosshairs and even timers. Game Visual has some preset display options in here for different kind of games. There's shadow boost, and then onto the next menu is image options, which has all the usual in here that you'd expect, including some blue light options. Next menu is all things color options related. Then we get the ability to control the different input sources. Favorite section gives you the ability to customize the shortcuts, and finally some overall system settings in here. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this monitor performs. The stand is great and comes with plenty of adjustability. Both the stand and the monitor look awesome, with some nice clean details. 160Hz refresh rate and a 1 millisecond response time are, in my opinion, really good specs for a gaming monitor. It's currently priced at £340 on Currys, which I do think makes this a great option for a mid-tier gaming monitor that's going to work for either PC or console gaming, or of course both. There's no issues with any screen glare, any ghosting or anything like that. The games look and played amazingly in my time of testing. It's a really great quality display. It's not an OLED, sure, but I think the colours are still very awesome, and the overall build quality is what you'd expect from an ASUS product. So overall, this monitor does get a thumbs up from me. That's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed the video, and of course, if you ever have any further questions, kindly drop them down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.